welcome back to HOSPO Health. I'm Andrew. Today we're going to be talking about injury prevention. In this first session we're going to talk about how to lift well. So teaching you the right techniques on how to move and how to get in the right positions to lift things from the ground. So often people will just think it's a natural thing to lift something up off the ground, but there's a real technique to it, and I want to show you that now. The first part of it is actually learning how to hip hinge well. And I'm going to give you a little trick here to make sure you're doing it properly. What I'll get you to do is I'm going to get you to grab a little bit of skin on your low back, just here like that, just above your hip. Keep your knees soft. What I want you to practice here is actually leaning forward, but keeping the skin. So keep the grip on the skin, forward like so, and back up. So if I was to round the wrong way, that skin will stretch out and it will give way. I won't be able to hang on to it anymore. So that means you know that you're rounding your back out too much. So to hip hinge well, basically what you're doing is your backside is going backwards. So you're learning this like this. So it's learning this nice little balance between half your body is going backwards while the other half is going forward. And that gets you into a good position to pick up most things, like even this table here. That will get me into a good position to be able to lift that. Then of course it's okay to lift something from knee height, but then we need to be able to get down to ground level. So once we've got to that point, so we've got to the knees with that nice hip hinge, then we need to use our squat technique by using our quads to be able to then get down and lift from here. Now you'll see on this angle that I'm doing this deliberately where my hands are actually down between my feet. So when we're lifting, we want to try and keep the object we're lifting coming up on the vertical. We don't want to have to be grabbing it from out here and bringing it this way, because that's putting a lot more pressure through the body. So whatever you're lifting, if it's at all possible, you want to be able to get it between your feet and to be able to pick it up from here and not from out here, from that position. So consider myself now as a Olympic weightlifter. I'm down in this position like I was going to lift the bar up, but this time it's going to be in front, here like so, between my legs. The next step from here is to engage your core muscles. So particularly on a heavy lift, we want to make sure that all the key muscles of the body are activated. And those muscles to start with are abdominal muscles. So I want you to think about being able to engage these muscles. So just drawing in across here and engaging those muscles nice and firmly. That creates a nice little solid support. From there, when you're in this position, the next step is actually, particularly if it's a heavy lift, you want to make sure you've got all the key muscles ready to go. So the quadriceps, the bottom muscles, and your shoulder blade muscles are nice and locked and loaded and pulled in this position, so they're pre-activated and ready to lift. So we talk about lifting like a forklift with a nice strong shoulder blade position and not like a crane. So not with long levers, we want to be nice and strong like a forklift when we're lifting something up like that. So this actually takes a bit of practice. So it's actually a great exercise you can do at home as well. So if there was one exercise I was going to give you to do at home, it probably would be that one. So you can not only do it as a practice for your manual handling, lifting off the ground, particularly if you're doing lots of work where you do need to lift, that's a great exercise to throw into your exercise routine at home as well. Next part of the manual handling process I think it's worth talking about is when we're reaching. So there's often a need to reach, particularly across tables and things like that. And effectively then, this is where that hip hinge becomes so important. Because as I reach forward, I've got all my weight, so my center of gravity is going forward. But if I don't do anything to have it go backwards, then I've got a lot more pressure through my back. So if you are reaching across a table or you're doing jobs where you have to reach across things, remember to think about your hips. We want your hips to then go back at the same time as you're reaching forward. So that gives you that kind of counterweight to support you and to keep you balanced. So if you can put those principles in with the hip hinge for both the squat as well as the reach, it's going to take a lot more pressure off your body and actually have you moving well, and actually not only not be bad for you, but actually be good for you, because it's exactly the same kind of movements that I might get you to do in an exercise program as well. Thank you.